Hello there and welcome to the Bearded Peacock. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. I'm of course George. Welcome along to the channel everybody, and it's a match review of Leeds United's 3-0 win at home at Elland Road against Rotherham United, a Yorkshire Derby win for Leeds. And it was as comfortable as you want, wasn't it? Really, let's be absolutely honest. I didn't expect anything less, but a comfortable Leeds United win. And probably a clean sheet as well. I probably expected that if we're being completely honest. It was bottom of the table. They're in atrocious form like we covered in the preview. Only one win in 10, I think it is, for Rotherham. So, yeah, I expected nothing else other than a Leeds United comfortable win, and it turned out to be that. We apply the pressure even more on Southampton. The gap is just now 1 point with Ipswich dropping points as well. They sit now on 60 points. We are 3 points ahead of them. Are they starting to crumble? Let me know in the comments there below. Look like they only just salvaged a draw, didn't they, against West Brom earlier in the day. So we already knew their result going into our game. Obviously, Southampton had a bit of a humdinger of a match, didn't they, at St Mary's against our neighbours Huddersfield. Looked like Huddersfield were going to do us a favour at half time. They were 2-0 up. It ended 5-3 to Southampton. 5 second half goals for the Saints sees them just a point, like I said, better off than ourselves. On 64, we're on 63. We're putting the pressure well and truly on Southampton. It's on to Swansea away on Tuesday night. I'm not sure what Swansea's result ended up actually. I think they were beating Hull at half time away from home. So, yeah, I'll have to check that result. But, yeah, so we go again to Swansea. Few lads, former team now, even Connor Roberts involved as well. It's his former team as well. He'll be looking forward to that one along with Joe Rodon. And Yoel Peroa return to St Mary's. Sorry, St Mary's. A return to the Liberty Stadium for them on Tuesday night. But let's talk about this one. We haven't talked about it yet, and it's 2 minutes odd in. So, yeah, look, it was 3 changes from the Plymouth FA Cup win. I think it was the same team that beat Bristol away or on the Friday night. And I think, is that 3 clean sheets in a row now for Leeds? I think it might be. But it was the same team, and Leeds for me... started a bit sloppy actually in this one. I thought Rotherham came out and played really quite well in terms of the opening few minutes. They forced a corner, and I'm sat there thinking, oh gosh, it's going to be one of these games. They're actually going to give it a go, which is good because it would eventually allow more space in behind them. As it was, Leeds sort of settled into the game, sort of 5-10 minutes in. 5 minutes or so in, we started to really get control of possession and exert our pressure, and you could see immediately the amount of bodies between Leeds and the goal. Really, Rotherham were packing their penalty box with black shirts, all black shirts, weren't they? All black kit, wasn't it, for Rotherham today? So they were really, defending in numbers and making it a little bit hard for us to get through. But we did get through in the 10th minute, and it's the hand of Patrick Bamford, or the arm of Patrick Bamford. I don't know how this has been allowed, to be quite honest. And it's supposedly a Premier League level referee in Andy Madley, is it, or Bobby Madley, one of the two of them. The lad with the Harry Potter tattoo, isn't it, on his... Has he got it on his arm, or his lower arm, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, it's him, and he's apparently a Premier League referee, isn't he? I've seen him many times reffing Premier League games. How do you miss that? Honestly, how did he miss? I mean, I could see from the camera angle that it showed on the telly that it came off Patrick Bamford's arm and into the net. But the thing is, the referee can't go back on the decision, can he? Once he's given it, he's given it. It's old school. It's old school style refereeing, isn't it? If you can't see it, you can't give it. And obviously, he didn't see it, or nobody saw it. Let me know if you were in the ground. Could you see it from where you were? Because from my angle on the telly, definitely looked like it hit his arm and sort of bouncing, sort of completely bamboozled the goalkeeper, Johansson, isn't it? Who's a decent player. Is he Swedish? I think he's got international caps, perhaps. Completely bamboozled him and went into the net on 10 minutes with 1-0 up. And then you think, yeah, let's go on now. Let's go and keep going. We've got the early goal, which has settled any nerves, because you know what it can be like playing these teams at the bottom of the table. They do come and sit in, and the longer the game goes, the harder it gets to get a goal. But we opened them up early. We couldn't open them up anymore. We did time and time again. The one that I'm thinking of is the Crescencio Somerville one, where Junior Firpo does really well to sort of muscle their defender off the ball in the penalty box, lays it on to Crescencio Somerville, who evades one challenge from a Rotherham defender and then puts it over the bar. And it was similar sort of position in a way to what he scored on Tuesday at Plymouth. You kind of expected him to. He should be putting that goal in, shouldn't he? Should be putting that ball in the net from there. In the form that he's in, he did rediscover that form later on in the game, of course, in the second half, which we'll come to. But there was chance after chance. Archie Gray should have done better with one. I don't really know why he was shooting. For me, play it across the box and see if it gets a touch. There was a shout for a penalty, which I was convinced was a penalty on first viewing. But I think it was actually a free kick in the end. I think he just gave a goal kick, didn't he? It was a poor tackle, and that lad, is it Raven? He had a poor game, didn't he? Really couldn't live with Willie Nonto. I thought Willie had a good game. What you'd expect really at this level from a lad of his quality, really. And what he should be doing time and time again. I think he should have scored in the second half again. So it ends 1-0 at half time. Leeds aren't come under any particular pressure. Just there's always that in the back of your mind, a free kick or a corner. But I thought on the whole they didn't have many in those opportunities. But the ones that they did have, Leeds defended really, really well. And I thought Rotherham in the second half, they came into it a little bit more, if I'm honest, which sounds daft because they went 3 goals down in the end. But I thought I was, not impressed with Rotherham, but I thought they played better than I probably expected. They came with some nice little bits of play at times. I thought that lad on the right side of the defence, is it Koyosho, who was on loan at Peterborough, wasn't he, for the first half of the season? I think he was their captain actually. He showed a real good. A good display. I felt he was their best player. If I'm being brutally honest, I thought their attacking options were absolutely no good. Jordan Hugill, I think, is just past it now, isn't he? He's a championship journeyman. He's if you looked up championship journeyman, I think in the dictionary his name would be there. Not the only one, but his name would probably be there. He's poor really, and didn't have any service at all, did he? But at times, like I said, I thought Rotherham did play some tiny little bits of football. But he was the lad that shone for me in their team. I think he had Junior Firpo's number mostly in the first half. Anyway, it comes to the second half. And and then you're thinking, come on, Leeds, kill them off. There was that early chance in the first half where Patrick Bamford shot deflects onto the bar, and then Willie Nonto should be putting the rebound in, shouldn't he? Should have scored that. He skies it over the bar. But then a couple of minutes later, it's 53 minutes, Crescencio Somerville, whose shooting boots wasn't on in the first half, looks like he swapped them in the second half, and Leeds, Leeds wrapped up the game essentially on 53 minutes, where Jorginho, I was screaming at him, pass the ball to Cree, and earlier than he did. Obviously, thankfully, he's the footballer and not me, because Georgie waits, evades a challenge, puts it through the lad's legs. I think it's Morrison, and then Cree Somerville waits and just dinks a little ball over the goalkeeper's leg and into the corner of the goal, and that's 2-0, and that's game over. He's going like that. We're putting them to bed, really, in that sense. I don't know. That's probably not what it meant, but in a set, that is what we were doing there. We were putting them to bed and killing the game off, which was great to see so early in the second half, because they didn't really have much else, did they, really? Rotherham sort of came into it a little bit and rallied a little bit, sort of 65, 70 minutes, and started to apply a little bit of pressure, and Definitely not the worst team I've seen at all at Elland Road at a home match this season. I thought there's been a lot worse teams, and to say they're bottom of the league, um, mind you, it's Leeds, it's everybody's cup final. Don't kill me for that because you know it is. Um, and yeah, you know, like I said, I wasn't impressed with them, but I thought they did all right, really, for the game that it was, because it's an impossible task, really. They're coming to Elland Road, we're unbeaten there, they've no away wins all season. And somebody who was at Elland Road, let me know, because I felt the Rotherham fans, the travelling contingent was really poor, but I don't know whether it was just the top tier of that stand where the away fans sit, or they had the bottom stand as well. Because if it was the bottom stand as well, then fair enough. But for me, it looked like it was only the top tier, and it's really poor showing from Rotherham. I know they've not won an away game all season, but you never know with football. And for me, if that was it, then that was a really poor showing. But anybody in the comments, let me know, because I'm not fully aware of how many travelled. But it didn't look many, really. But yeah, and then obviously the third comes, it's a penalty, it is a penalty. I think it is my lad Koyosho who gives it away. Like I said, otherwise I think he had a decent game. And Somerville, oh, cheeky lad, the Penenka, wasn't it? Obviously, I think he missed his previous one against Cardiff, didn't he? Wasn't it Cardiff? Yeah, away at Cardiff. I think that was the last one he took. We seem to get a few penalties, don't we? I don't know how many we've got this season, but we do seem to have got quite a few. And it's a lovely cheeky chip, isn't it? The Penenka, it's lovely. Fantastic. Down the middle. Keeper obviously goes the wrong way. He's there. It's Somerville. Reminding the fans as if we can forget. Is that 14 goals? I think it's 14 goals now. You know, in the league for Cree. Is it 15 in all with that goal in the FA Cup as well? He's having a great season. I mean, he's got more goals now than the whole entire of that Rotherham starting 11 has got all season. So that just tells you how poor they are. But like I said, I thought they kept going and they did all right. Leeds managed the game really well. Obviously, Daniel Farke knows we're in a good position at 3-0. He knows the lads have had a long trip and a extra time played on Tuesday. Let's start rotating. And he did that. He did that really well. And I think from there, all those subs sort of diluted the game a little bit and probably made Rotherham look a little bit better than they actually were, to be fair. We're a little bit just disjointed, but at the same time, extremely controlled. I thought Joe Rodon it was another wall performance, wasn't it? You can't get through Joe Rodon, you really cannot. At this level, he just looks so composed and so... He's too good. He's too good for this level, isn't he? Let's be absolutely honest. And Ethan Ampadu beside him as well. At centre-back, obviously we know that he can play there and he started his career there, and beside his mate, it's such a great combination, to be fair. We're very lucky to have those boys. I thought Ampadu can for me, the two of them in this partnership, be the one that might fuck up. Apologies for the language. Apologies for that. But he might be the one that might mess up, should I say. Keep it PG. He might be the one that might mess up. But today I thought he was fantastic. He was absolutely excellent. As he usually is, to be fair, but he can have that in him just whereas Joe Rodon is pretty much 10 out of 10 all the way along, isn't he? And he's probably my man of the match again today, although closely followed, of course, with his 2 goals by Somerville. I thought Jorginho had a good game as well. Rutter as well had a decent match, and Willie as well had a decent goal. He should have scored. He should have scored towards the end as well. Went through, played in by Georgie, and then should have scored, but he didn't. Put it wide. So yeah, could have been more, but it was free. Free was enough. It takes us, like I said, 1 point behind Southampton. I mentioned Sean Morrison, didn't I, earlier on in the piece. Obviously, he was playing alongside. I mean, Sean Morrison alongside Lee Peltier. I mean, come on. I think Sean Morrison's 35. I think Lee Peltier is 37. So I mean, come on. I mean, it's time to let them go, isn't it, really? Sean Morrison, I noticed, was trying to wind up the Leeds fans, or what was he doing? Doing the salute. He's not from Leeds, and you're winding them up or trying to wind them up possibly, or whatever. I don't know what he was doing when they're 1-0 down. I don't know. He's a bit of a joker, that guy. I met him one time actually in Albufeira. He was absolutely gone. He was so drunk. He was. I think he was playing for Sheffield Wednesday at the time. They were out on a pre-season tour. He was absolutely. Well, he was battered. He was absolutely smashed. I think he'd just come off getting Huddersfield promoted, I think. But it seems like a funny bloke, to be fair. Lee Peltier, obviously a former Leeds player. And I didn't realise Liam Richardson was from Leeds, actually. And I didn't realise I referenced this just as a thing about away games not won all season. The Wigan game on Easter, was it Good Friday? Easter 2019. I didn't realise he was a manager. I just referenced that as a thing like, oh, remember that game? But he was actually the manager of Wigan on that day. Liam Richardson. I didn't realise he was from Leeds, but comes away from Leeds with nothing good this time. That's what we like, isn't it? And Leeds, like I said, finish the day in third place, 1 point behind Southampton. On to Tuesday with Swansea City. Let me know your thoughts on the comments there below. Did you go to the game today? Any Rotherham fans? Did you make it? Are you doomed now? Are you relegated? Is that it? I think it probably is, isn't it? 19 points at this stage is really, really poor return. Yeah, I expect you'll probably hit League One next season. But thank you very much for watching. We're rejoicing tonight. It's great, of course, when Leeds United win. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your night. March on together. I'll see you on the next one.